pegs in the ground. And the look in his face is the look that you and I would have if we smashed up a brand new car. And he shook it off and he walked in to his house to get 2 more eggs. And then we watched his youngest child, a little girl not 5 years of age, on her own go into the house and get a pan and a spoon. And we watched her desperately try to scrape up those eggs and brush the dirt off of the broken yolks. And those are the people we're helping. And that, for me, was a rock star experience. I pray that my daughter's generation get to have the kind of rock star experience that I've had in Rotary. And we'll only get there if we make our organization attractive to the next generation of leaders. We have to have the courage to change what needs to be changed, the traditions that might be barriers to the next generation joining, and yet preserve what's important, which is our core, our essence, the values that we want and must pass on. So I appreciate the chance to talk to you. It's been a pleasure. I'm certainly available for questions. Seth, go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. And I saw Seth hold up the applause sign, so I know where that all came from. So, any questions?
We've got mics in the audience.
Our club has a foundation that distributes about $300,000 annually. And I heard you speak of the need for a flagship project. And I identify with that as something that certainly can promote our image as an organization. But I also know in our own foundation we have a rule as to where our funds go, and it deals with local Rotarian involvement. And that we don't want to just give money, we want to give money where we are personally involved as a club. And I think for many of us, it's where our most meaningful Rotarian experiences come out of, when we are in fact hands-on involved. I think there's a dilemma in what you just described between that need to have a series of projects that we as individuals sponsor, get involved in, get excited about, but tend to be $10,000 here, $12,000 here, $18,000 here, World Community Foundation Group. There's a dilemma as to your concept is right, but it flies in the face of what we know is very important to making it work for fellow Rotarians being involved in the community.
It's a good comment, and it is a difficult dilemma. You probably have the ability to deal with it better than most when you have 300,000. But take a look at us internationally. We have spent the last 27 years working on polio. And I will tell you that the vast majority of Rotarians worldwide are probably not passionate about polio as our number one goal. And yet the one thing we've done right in the last 30 years is polio. It has put us on the map at the highest levels. Governments around the world, nonprofits, charitable organizations. We may not have a good reputation among the average business leader in communities, but among the government officials, among the top NGOs, non-governmental organizations, we have an amazing reputation because we focused on polio as a number one corporate project. That doesn't mean we haven't done other things during that time frame. So I think that's the potential solution. Is of that 300, maybe 150 every year has to go towards what is a signature, and yet there's still 150 to help foster the next future projects, to meet the passions of your Rotarians. Not an easy solution. Well, see, what do you need me for then? You're doing it right. Yeah. Yeah. I have never been an advocate and say, do one thing and one thing only. But what's critical is we need to start leaving a mark with what we're doing, because our image just isn't there. If it is, it's not positive. So this question over here.
Have in your travels you come across any clubs that do seem to be engaging the next generation? And because you had some talk in there. It seems like there were some general concepts of what you might do moving forward. But have you seen any clubs that have best practices or something that you could say, here's 5 things that you could do right off the bat to engage the next generation?
Without any doubt, there's a lot of very healthy clubs that are doing things very well. And some of the key things are signature projects. When somebody walks in the door, how are they greeted? I will tell you, I was so impressed, and I made this comment to Brooke at the table here, how well I was greeted here. I mean, not just, hi, Tom, welcome. It was a warm feeling. I mean, that's critical stuff. I am not for a minute saying, do this, do that, because it's going to have to change for every club and every community. What works in 5 Points would never work here. I would never suggest it. But there's certain things that are critical. You have to have an experience coming out of it that is tremendous warmth and fellowship. And here, I'll make this statement. There's a past director from California that states this very well. Eating together is not one of our core values. It is not. Eating together is a method by which we can enjoy fellowship. And for many clubs, it's a good way to do it, but it's not necessarily the only way or always the right way. And there's a great club in Duluth, 65% female, nobody over the age of 40. They meet Thursdays at 5 o'clock. They have pretzels, and you buy your beverages. Once a week, they meet on Saturday, or once a month. So they break the rules. There's one Thursday every month they don't meet. Instead, they meet on Saturday, and it's an environmental project. The club only does environmental projects. And it's vibrant, it's growing, and it's a good fit. But there's also a traditional downtown Duluth Rotary Club that's 200 members strong and doing fine. And we need both. We need packages that are attractive in lots of different ways and provide options. So I think we're probably at the time level. So thank you. Appreciate it.